Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to publish your podcast onto your website. So if you have a podcast host, like I have Libsyn, I use Liberated Syndication or Libsyn as my podcast host. And so I'm going to start here and I'm going to get the embed code, and then we're going to put that inside of my website. And I'll show you where to put that on a WordPress website. So I'm going to use this podcast that I published today, and I'm going to come to wherever your podcast host keeps the embed code. So for me, it's in here. So there's some links at the top, but that's not what we're looking for. This embed code, we're going to set up these details here. The shortest height for my player needs to be 90 pixels, and you can find out more information on your host. I've set up the color and some other details. Libsyn gives us 4 choices: this standard mini player. This is their legacy player, they call this one. And they recently came out with this custom player that lets me put in my own picture and has these kind of details. Once I've selected this custom, as I prefer, click on embed code. So this is what the sample of it will look like. And this is the actual embed code. So I select this, copy that. I'm hitting Control-C on my keyboard. Now I'm going to go over to the back office. I've logged into my website at WordPress, Coffee Pot Fellowship Podcast. And so I've clicked on Posts, Add New, and it will look like this. So when you're ready to add a new post, you can put your name in here, and you can put in anything that you want to say on that post. Down underneath here, all your show notes, and it'll generally show you what it looks like here. But that's on the visual page, and you can do your editing here. Okay. But if you go back into this text area, it will let you see the sort of guts of things, and the player gets embedded right here. So I'm going to hit Control-V, and you'll see that information that we copied a moment ago from Libsyn to here. So now if I go back to where it says visual, there's a little placeholder here. You can't see the actual player just yet, but if I hit publish, it will then publish this on my website, and that player will be showing. We don't have any title or anything yet, but let me give you an example from a completed, filled out podcast. I'm going to show you this podcast with Ramal Tune I mentioned that I just published today. And so when it's published, the player looks like this. Now the back office, if I click on all posts, this one is showing at the top. And so when I open up my podcast with Ramal Tune, I've already clicked on the text, so you're seeing this, what I called the guts a moment ago. And here's that information pasted into the top of my show notes. Thank God we don't have to write all this code, right? But you do need to know how to paste your player into the top in order for it to show up on your website here. Then when you're ready on your website, once this is posted and published, all you've got to do, if people come to listen, they can hit play and listen to it right here. Or they can come down here if you set this up in your player and listen to it on iTunes, or if you're an Android person, you can listen to it on Stitcher.com. So I've set it up to give people some other options. They can also download it here. This is embed, or they can share it on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Google+, or they can share that RSS feed. So knowing how to paste this gives you a lot of other options. And that is how you embed your podcast on a WordPress website.